Going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Safe Space of this new football year, this new football season. The draft is over, free agency been over. Let's talk about it. Big E, how you doing, brother?
Hey, as always, what I'm gonna say, blessed and highly favored Raider Nation. We sucked in the draft. I'm gonna tell you that now, but I'm the draft king. So you already know it was my first draft last night. So I'm blessed to be talking to my brother Seven.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have knew that Austin Eckler and Josh Jacob trade would make our relationship grow so strong? But I
Man,
appreciate you, fam.
no, for sure, for sure. Before we get started, shout out to the shot callers. Shout out to Streamlabs for giving us this platform to do what we do so well. Brother Fox should be joining us in a second. But speaking of the mock draft, that's a great way to start before we get into the rookie placement. Uh, Tight ends, you got to get them kind of early.
Yeah, well, it depends. It depends on who you want. I'm still. It depends. Fantasy, the way it's going now, you got five flexes now. You know what I'm saying? You got people that want to play, a tight end premium. Whoever heard of such?
Stupid.
Either you got a good tight end or you got a crappy tight end. Let's get that
Yeah.
straight off the bat. So I don't like tight end premium leagues. Where they have a point and a half per catch and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Laporta, Kelsey, which I think he's washed a little for me. I wish
Mm-mm.
Fox was on here so I could dog him out. He coming, but um, I just think that right now a lot of people are still doing ADP. Trying to get the picks, and they're not lined up. You saw Chubb was way down the board. Josh Jacobs way down the board. You sniped me. You got me good. You got me good because I had it lined up. Eckler's way down the board, which I figured so with Brian Robinson. So
Right.
Laporta, he's going to be, of course, somebody whose people are going to get early. But all in all, it's coming together. What do you think?
Yeah, that was just our first preview. No one had really. I did one mock draft prior to that 2 weeks ago, and the rankings were different. Definitely different. You see, wide receivers are important. It's a passing game now, so fantasy needs to adjust to that. I love the quality running backs that we saw go in that fourth, fifth round. That makes me feel comfortable taking receivers, taking quarterback a little bit earlier, taking tight end a little bit earlier, knowing that you can get a Joe Mixon and an Aaron Jones in the fourth round, Josh Jacobs in the fourth round. I think Mixon actually went in the fifth. There's
Mm,
someone else, James Conner. He's not pretty. I wouldn't want him as my RB1,
right.
RB2 flex. Okay. Um, so there's some quality running backs going in the fourth to sixth round. I think Kincaid went at the back end of the sixth.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
that
Mm,
was kind of early, but I mean, I guess with no digs.
yeah.
And Evan Ingram is the last one. I think that's like noteworthy. I can't trust to Kyle Pitts.
Oh, my goodness. And I drafted Kyle Pitts just on the strength of Kirk Cousins,
Mm,
even though it sickens me, brother. It
yes.
sickens me to draft Kyle Pitts. I hate his name just even in the draft. I
Mm.
hate to even just look at the name. He's
Mufasa. Ooh,
Ooh, hey,
Kyle
I'm
Pitts.
shivering. Kyle Pitts. Ooh, look, hey, you got Carmen started. But yeah, he's like Mufasa in that sense. What happened? What happened? You got me?
You there?
Okay, he's like Mufasa in that sense. Sorry, that it's crazy. I drafted him, but I say other than that, and if he kills, I definitely won the draft last night, like I said earlier. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, he really should. He shakes me to my core.
But what do you remember what round you took him?
I took him late. I took him in the seventh round.
So last year he was going sixth round. So he's only going seventh now. But that was the last running back, last tight end that was available. That's what I'm saying. So now your options, you got to go Dalton Schultz. You may have to go Ferguson. You may have to go. You may have to go with what's his name?
But
You got Schultz, you got Ferguson. You might have to go McBride, which is not a bad pick. But tight ends definitely you might want to have to get one before the 6th round.
Yeah, definitely. Where, Brother Fox, when you get in, and get settled, where are you taking Kelce? Where do you think is a good spot to draft Kelce?
I would say mid to later second round. But I would say between round 2, pick 5, and all the way to round 2, pick 10. I feel like that's where he would qualify for. He's still going to get the requisite target share, especially early in the season when Rashid's not out there. But I think once actually the offense gets more established, you have, Worthy as well as Hollywood assimilate more to the offense. I think he's going to see less touches, but Kelce still comes up in big games, and so it just kind of is what it is.
Right.
For that playoff run, he was a crutch, especially in the AFC Championship game.
Exactly.
I think you're right. Like late second, third. He's older. There are more weapons, which also might mean just more quality targets. A lot of people forget, what sold Kevin Durant from OKC to Golden State was Jerry West told him, yeah, you got to share the ball with Steph and Clay, but you'll never see a double team all year, with those two killers. So yeah, you're not going to put up the same amount of shots, but you also won't have to. Now you're going to see one-on-one coverage. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that they've got, Rice and Hollywood and Worthy. I think people are sleeping on Patrick Mahomes. This is not getting talked enough. He's got 4 quality weapons, not to mention Pacheco out of the backfield. He doesn't utilize him enough, but he can catch out of the backfield. So I ain't gonna talk about him no more because I'll probably target him this year, and I usually don't target Pat.
Yeah, well, Pat, he got a I draft like we said. Well, I wanted the defense? Was it Rucker? I definitely wanted him, in the draft for us with the Raiders.
Yeah. Talking about Dallas Turner?
Turner, I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Hey, I just walked about 6 miles, so I'm tripping. Dallas Turner, we end up getting Brock Bowers, but I said, who y'all get? Worthy? Who y'all get? Xavier? Worthy? Who was it?
You talking about Kansas City?
Who did Kansas City get? The wide receiver out of Texas.
Xavier.
Yeah. Now I think he's a solid pick. Obviously, he can run. He's fast. Kind of got a little MVS vibe. You know what I'm saying? But he is solid. You know what I'm saying?
Don't put that juju on that man.
No, I can't knock Rice, especially with my Raider wide receivers driving history. I definitely cannot knock Rice. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I got to come at him in some way. But Worthy, I liked him. I think he's a tough receiver for his size, a little thin, but I think he's gonna have to work on his size. At the same time, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I thought that Miko was better. I would say I thought Miko was better coming out of the draft than him. And Miko didn't show up.
If you think Worthy is equivalent to MVS, you're not watching the tape, brother.
Okay.
So when it comes to
talk to me, tell me.
Unlike most traditional fast guys who come out of the draft, usually they're just like they have that crazy high top end speed. Someone like Miko could run fast straight, but he had no bend. He couldn't run a route to save his life. Like literally all they could do is have him run deep and have him run outs. Whereas Worthy, he's more of a tactician. He really is similar to Deshaun Jackson more than any other receiver that even Andy Reid said in his press conference. That's what he saw out of Worthy. If you look at early in his freshman and sophomore year, before he got Quinn Ewers, he was routing niggas up. He was routing players up. With the last year with Quinn Ewers, they threw a lot of screen passes to him, so it was a little different. But yeah, I think that he's quality receiver. We won't see those Deshaun Jackson You'll probably see a few big plays every game, but you won't see those Deshaun Jackson type numbers until probably next year.
Now come on now, Deshaun Jackson, that's a high ceiling, brother. Deshaun, he wasn't no slouch. Now we heard this about Sky Moore. Now don't you play with me. I remember what you said about Sky.
So here's the thing about Sky. When it comes to Sky Moore, like he was a fast riser. No one was talking about Sky Moore during the regular season. During the college football season, people weren't talking about
not about the college season, no.
Yeah, they weren't talking about him because he wasn't really doing that much. Now, towards the draft, he rose at the draft, and I think people were more excited about Sky Moore because of the location of where he went, as opposed to the player himself.
Right.
On tape, he looks good, but he didn't put up dynamic numbers against. He went to Western Kentucky. It's not like he's playing incredible competition on a day-to-day basis. So I think he found out, he got to the league, he can barely be pressed, and he has hands of stone sometimes, and it happens. He was overdrafted. He should have been a third or fourth round draft pick, but I think it was more people were excited because of the location of where he's going. I think Worthy's a bit different. Different. What I could see from the tape, he definitely seems like, he's not the most polished receiver in the draft, but he definitely is a quality receiver.
True. I like Mitchell too. He went to the Colts. I didn't know if y'all were gonna go that route. I liked, Adonai. I like him too.
Yeah, I agree. Apparently, he fell in the draft because he has type 1 diabetes.
Oh man.
So he has type 1 diabetes, and apparently he doesn't take his diabetes seriously. He doesn't.
Wow. I'm here.
Like in comparison to Mark Andrews from the Ravens, Mark Andrews has type 1 diabetes as well, and they said he pokes himself and is like refreshing himself with fruits and vegetables throughout the game. He said he pokes himself like 80 times. Whereas Adonai Mitchell, he said like the coaching staff had to remind him to even like check on himself. And there's times they said he had lulls on the field where it just seemed like he was all over the place, and then he would come to the sideline and go, I can't see very well, or I don't feel that good. So, if the player doesn't take himself seriously like that, it's tough. It's tough to get him on the field,
Yeah, that's red flags all the way. You got to take care of your health. My goodness, I had friends that lost toes and everything because of diabetes. So, you just got to, take care of your health. Take it from the country boy right here. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of young, talented receivers and just young talent, let's talk about these rookies real quick. Have we ever seen a number 1 overall quarterback get such a good supporting cast?
I don't think so. I'm gonna let Fox. I'll let you take it because Fox, he knows.
Justin Fields got to be angry in Pittsburgh right now.
Justin Fields is hating. You know what I'm saying? But he fell into a spot that's gonna be even better than he can imagine. It's gonna work out for everybody. But I liked. I think that was a weird call. Like who is this? Who is this? Everybody knew. That was weird. That was weird to me. It's just kind of a strange guy to me. But I think that I think he can play football. I honestly do, and I think that to have those 3 wide receivers, with Allen and everybody, Rome is that guy. I think Rome is just talented. That some people don't see how talented this brother really is. So I'm looking for him to have a really breakout year. Some people I think are really, trying to draft him early. I think it's just because of the rookie hype. I think you have to look at some of the other players, but the best position I've ever saw a first round to get in. What do you think, Fox?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The closest comparison you could say would be like Andrew Luck. When he came to the Colts, he had
Reggie Wayne, T.Y.
Hilton, Dallas Clark. He had a good running game. They still had a solid offensive line. So it's very similar to that situation. But yeah, like the Bears are stacked. The Bears have been building that offensive line for the past few years. I feel like they're fielding quality players at every position, and it's gonna be very difficult for Caleb Williams not to win Rookie of the
Year. Where do you guys have him in redraft? Can he finish in the top what?
I say 15. I'm going 15.
I was gonna say top 10.
I ain't going there yet. Not yet.
So his schedule is like their division doesn't get enough credit. I think Green Bay is going to be a quality team this year. The Lions are up there with the top 2 roster. With I think them in San Francisco on paper have the best rosters in the National Football League.
Right.
And so to think that they're just going to hop, skip, and jump to the playoffs is different. But I think Caleb's going to put up fantastic numbers. Yeah, I think he has a 4th place schedule, which he probably will never have again for several years.
Right.
With the quality talent all the way around at every position, including running back.
Yeah.
So the Bears, like we said before, the Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer, and they've never had a quarterback throw for over 30 touchdowns. I think Caleb Williams will surpass that in year 1.
This year 1?
Year 1.
Woo! I'm saying less than 4,000 passing yards. I'm gonna say that. I mean, maybe it might be 39. You know what I'm saying? 100. You know what I'm saying? It might get 3900. It's gonna be close, but I don't think 30 touchdowns. I give them. I say 24. That's still good. It's still good. And probably, I mean, right many interceptions. It's a change when you go to the NFL. Now we know this definitely, and I mean it ain't like that he wasn't slacking a little bit. I think towards. I mean, of course he got hurt at the end of the year, but I mean he hasn't played football in a little while. I think it ain't gonna be like Stroud. I don't think it's gonna be like a Stroud season.
I think 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns is doable.
It's doable. I ain't saying I just think that.
Right. He just got too many weapons, man.
Yeah.
Like a team only has so many DBs.
Right. That's facts.
So he came out in the best situation. Next, I don't think anyone's looking at Daniels. Not this year. Maybe Dynasty, but not this year. I don't think anyone's looking at Drake May, Dynasty, or redraft. Marvin Harrison Jr. We saw him go 2nd round last night.
Yeah.
2nd round for a rookie receiver.
Kyler has been known to force the ball to his number 1 receiver.
True.
We saw it even Hollywood toward the end of last year was catching quite a few balls.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah,
Before
Christian Kirk. I feel like he's in a great situation fantasy wise. They're not going to win many football games, which is also good for him fantasy wise. Because that means that if they're always trying to play catch up, they're going to be continually throwing the ball.
I'm with it.
He doesn't have the top end speed that people are going to be fearful, at least at the beginning of the season, for them to want to put like 2 high safeties. So they're going to see a lot of single high safety looks, and he could have some numbers.
2nd round though?
No, I don't think so.
4th or 5th. I remember Jamar Chase being a 5th rounder after Justin Jefferson's rookie year. He went 2nd round last night.
Right. I think it's just hype. Off of the draft. I think a lot of these players were just hyped up. I mean, I'm not going to say that Marvin, ain't going to shine. You know what I'm saying? He's a beast. Obviously, I just don't think. I think he could get 1,000 yards. I'm not going to say he's not going to be, nice, but just eclipsing 1,000 yards. I mean, really, Kyler don't have anybody else to throw to. I could understand that too. But at the same time, Daniel Jones doesn't have that either. And I know we're going to get into, neighbors as well.
Yeah. Looking at Harrison Jr., I think he could put up similar numbers to like a DJ Moore or a Scary Terry, where it's 85 to 90 receptions, 1,100 to 1,200 yards, and 6 or 7 touchdowns.
Right.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Kyler don't got no one else to throw the ball to, like you said. McBride is nice. They don't even have Rondell Moore no more. He's number 1 receiver. They drafted him number 4. You got to follow the money. You got to follow the draft capital, in my opinion. I don't agree with a 2nd round though. Earliest I could do is best I could do is 4th round.
Right.
Yeah. Like you said, drafting him in the 4th round is where you would think he would go, but he's going to be overdrafted. He's going to be overdrafted because of the situation. When a rookie comes into a de facto situation, just like we saw Malik Neighbors. Neighbors was overdrafted last night as well.
Where did he go?
I want to say he went 4th. He went like the beginning of the 4th.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And so it's just like
it's crazy.
When you have a receiver going into a top tier situation like that, it's gonna, people jump the gun and they end up overdrafting him, and so you're gonna see them get overdrafted. Now, I do think Marvin Harrison Jr. is gonna have a good year, and I saw this interview with him and his pops, and his pops was saying that he said that if I ever have a game where I'm getting 4 to 5 targets, I know Monday morning I'm gonna have a meeting. That meeting's gonna be with the quarterback, and I'm gonna tell him, "Hey, get me the goddamn ball." And so if he's instilling that in his son, and like, hey, he don't give a fuck if they win or lose or not. It's like, hey, am I getting my targets? He might be the next, Stephon Diggs in the locker room, But if he getting his touches, he getting his touches, right?
Yes, Marvin Harrison told me that I definitely would give him the ball because you'll be in the crosshairs. That brother will lay you down. Don't think he won't. Don't think he won't. I'm telling you. Hey, his son might be nice with it too. You better be careful, Kyler.
Kyler!
So that's all. Look, that picture was you, 7.
Hey, Jeff Clark, shout out to media, always says I look like Stephon Diggs. And for you to see that image and say that without knowing he says that, I don't like that. I'm going to drop a dime on that. I don't like that. So, let's talk about the brother Neighbors, man. 1B probably would have been the first receiver in any other draft of recent years.
Right.
Horrible situation, right?
Yeah.
They still got a trash O-line. He got Danny Dimes. Dallas plays pretty good defense. You're gonna have to see Diggs.
I agree.
Neighbors is trash.
They got a
not player wise.
Terrible situation that he's walking into, yes. But you also got to realize too, Dayball is coaching him and the GM. They're coaching for their lives. If they don't make the playoffs and have a decent rebound season this year, there's a good chance they're going to be on the street. So, like, I know that one of the main reasons why they let Saquon go was because they're trying to formulate a new offense similar to what they ran in Buffalo. Not a run tier offense, but more pass heavy. And it sounds like they're going to try to give Danny Dimes every opportunity to be the best he can be, because technically, like, this man he's been in the league 3 years and has had crap for wide receivers all 3 years.
Right.
So now it's like this is the first time they're actually giving him a decent quality defense and at least a decent wideout on the outside for them to compete with. Who knows? Who knows? The NFC East never has back-to-back winners anyway. Like who can say that they won't rebound and outperform themselves like they did a couple years ago?
Fair enough.
I'm thinking kind of like Kadarius Toney. They were hyping up. Kadarius was nice, and he played for the Gators, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he was nice, and he's in Kansas City now. Like you said, y'all paying him pennies, not knocking him. You know what I'm saying? I think he's talented, but they were hyping him up. He wasn't a Neighbors talent, but he was good. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if his work ethic ain't correct or whatever. We're gonna see. Neighbors, he's supposed to be an alpha dog. That's all they said. He's an alpha. He's the number one. So we're definitely gonna see. But I mean, I think people are gonna draft him high, and I think it's gonna be a mistake just because Danny Dimes not gonna get him the ball. I know he had a good year 2 years ago, but like you said, the O-line. If you don't have time, unless you're running them out of the slot all the time, a crossing, he's not gonna have many targets, I don't believe.
Brother Fox, let's move on to the running back position. What running back did you feel like landed in the most ideal situation?
So there's two.
Yes.
Talk to us.
I do like Jonathan Brooks,
yes.
who went to the Panthers. The kid suffered a knee injury towards the end of last season, so we're not really going to see what he can do for probably till mid-season. He's the kind of person you may want to stash if your league has an injured reserve location. Go ahead and stash him there, because towards the end of the season, I can absolutely see Brooks put up numbers. He runs. He's like I wouldn't even say a poor man. He runs like Arian Foster, just real smooth, real agile, could absolutely make plays. And I feel in that, with the Panthers, they don't really have much going for him. So
don't.
He might get some touches and he can catch out the backfield.
Okay.
The second one, the gentleman went
Trey
to
Benson.
Yeah, Trey Benson went to the Cardinals. Fantastic situation. Connor's a little longer in the tooth. Plus, Connor it's only a matter of time before he gets hurt. It's not if but when kind of thing. And Trey Benson, like last year at Florida State, was putting up numbers. Plus, he runs a 4.3, and he feels like a true 4.3, meaning like you feel that speed on the field. Like when he hits that corner, it's like, man, I can see him taking off and doing big things. And I think he's by mid-season he's going to be the starting running back for the Cardinals.
Right. True. I think the same thing. I think like in reverse, Benson is going to be more important, I think, to me. Of course, Connor is a blue tent boy, obviously. And I mean, I don't knock him. He's had a great career, but he's very long in the tooth. You know what I'm saying? Very old. So, I mean, people were saying definitely 2025, Benson is going to be, stepping up. I think it's going to be 2024. He's going to do it this year. As far as Panthers, I mean, O-line help is needed. I mean, then you got Hubbard that's in front of him. I mean, he ain't no slouch. I mean, he's better than an injured running back coming back, which you have to work in, obviously. But I don't think he's just going to take all of Hubbard's run. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, Benson was the main winner, the one I would go after if I had to go after running back early.
If I could trouble you guys for one more question before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Chargers is going to run the ball. Greg Roman. The O line can't be mad at the line. Is it Gus bust season now?
No. I like Ladd.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey. I was actually going to mention it. I think the two receivers that are rookies that are actually going to put up numbers this first year, and it's because of the situations they walked into. Ladd McConkey is walking in. He's going to be the de facto wide receiver one. He's going to be
over Q1.
Yes, much better.
Cooper Kupp.
He's going to take over that position like Keenan Allen. He's going to play out the slot, and we saw how many targets Keenan Allen got and how he was the pacifier there for Justin Herbert.
Safety blanket.
I can absolutely see Ladd McConkey getting 70+ catches, probably low 1,000-yard season, similar to like a Mike Evans. He'll barely get over 1,000, but he'll get there. And I can see him getting 4 or 5 touchdowns. And the second one is Keon Coleman from Buffalo. I don't believe in Keon Coleman as a wide receiver one at all. I don't think he's going. I think he's gonna bust. But I think he's still gonna play. He's gonna be very great in the red zone, as well as walking into that situation with no other receivers out there. He has to be the receiver. And
right.
They're running there's so many targets to go around, especially in a Josh Allen led offense. He's gonna get the ball. He's gonna get some targets.
Yeah, I think Coleman. I don't know. I think Coleman gonna be a Calvin Benjamin. I think he's gonna be like a Benjamin Jr. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just like you said, lob it up at the back of the end zone. Of course, he's gonna get that. But Ladd. I mean, no racism. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, but you go to the park and you see the white guy that play, and everybody, that's a bad white boy. That's like the best compliment that you can get. That dude is bad. And sometimes like a Christian McCaffrey, kind of like a Cooper Kupp, Ladd is like that guy. It's like that Joe dude bad. You know what I'm saying? He's just one of those special type of like white guys. And I hate to say it like that, but running a 4.3. Come on, this dude, and he got the moves like Cooper Kupp, but he's faster. It's like I love his game. I really do. If I could draft him in the 4th or 5th, I don't know. I'm gonna try to maybe say 5th. I ain't gonna get too crazy on that, but Ladd gonna shine. I think Ladd gonna be. Hey, I think Ladd might be our offensive rookie of the year.
Ooh.
I'm talking about,
I think a sleeper pick that no one's talking about, Jalen Polk going to the Patriots in the 2nd round. Like, Jalen Polk is what got Penix drafted to the number 8 position. You could say Rome Odunze put up numbers, and he did.
Right.
But when it came to all those, the 3rd and longs, the 3rd across the mid, like Jalen Polk just does not drop passes. He's like, you throw it in his vicinity, he catches the ball. And I said this to 7 last year. We were chit-chatting during the college football playoffs. And I was saying that if the Chiefs had the receiving core of the Washington last year, I was like, we'd be the Super Bowl favorites, like during the season. And it's Jalen Polk is completely underrated. I wouldn't have been mad if the Chiefs drafted him at the end of the 1st. Like the kid is talented.
Well, y'all would have been better off than drafting an overpriced MVS. I tell you that.
Here you
go. I'm gonna say it now. I'm saying it now.
On that note, that concludes our episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space. We thank you guys for rocking with us. Shout out to the Fantasy Football Shot Callers. Check in with us next Tuesday, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Brother Fox, how can the good folks take care of us?
Hey, as always, y'all can give us that HBO special. If you don't know what the HBO special is, it's the Help a Brother Out special. So help some brothers out. Hit that like button, subscribe. It truly goes a long way.
We appreciate you. See you guys next Tuesday. Peace.
Go Chiefs.
No doubt.